Surprise! Nikki Haley makes a fascinating appearance on Saturday Night Live. Apparently, you can't be a white man and a pilot anymore, as well as illegal immigrants have more rights in this country than you do. It's a great day to be laughing through the fall of Rome, everybody. We're going to do that today and more on Speechless. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Speechless. I'm your host, Kev Phares, 23-year-old conservative radio show host and podcast host here of Speechless. And so to make sure you don't miss a minute of anything that I talk about here or the other videos and fun shorts and everything I do, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow, whatever. Find me everywhere at Speechless Kev. YouTube is my main stuff, but obviously you might be watching on Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, anything like that. Oh, I'm sorry, it's X, by the way, too. We're going to talk about that here today. But again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that fun stuff. And get those comments going, everybody. I know I get a lot of fun people that want to share. And if you got any questions or anything, if you put it in the comments, I'll bring it up on screen and we can talk about it. But we're going to start off with our first story of the day. Nikki Haley was sparking a lot of controversy in the fact that she was simply on Saturday Night Live. Now, I've been clear on this show before, Nikki Haley is not necessarily one of my favorite people in the world by any means, but I think that there's a lot of value to this clip of her on Saturday Night Live. So it was during the cold open Nikki Haley made her appearance, and so we're going to take a look and a listen at just what Nikki Haley had to say and do on Saturday Night Live. So here we go. Let's react to this.
And now the CNN Trump Town Hall, live from Columbia, South Carolina.
Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to South Carolina. We are your hosts tonight. I'm Charles Barkley.
And I am Gail King. And we're the co-host of a real CNN show that combines our two names, King Charles.
Yeah, I thought it should be Gay Bar. But then I was told that was terrible.
Yes. Tonight, the people of South Carolina will ask former President Trump.
Questions like, can you bet on a town hall?
I don't know what happened there, but we'll keep watching.
Now, please welcome the former President of the United States.
He's been around a court more than me, and I was in the NBA. President Donald Trump.
Thank you.
So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to predict it right now as we're already starting this, is that a lot of this is going to be a Trump roast fest. And I haven't watched all this yet. I've only seen some of the headlines or read a little bit about it. But here's what I'm going to predict, that this is going to be a Trump roast fest. And it's just going to be all the lefties on SNL who do half-assed, half-baked comedy that a lot of phenomenal comedians set the stage for them all the way 70 or 50, 60 years ago, whenever it started. They now have just transformed it into let's hate conservatives, let's hate Republicans, and we're going to do it every Saturday night. That's why no one really watches anymore. But I think that there's value to this clip. I think there's probably something in it that we can learn. And so bear with the half-baked comedy and the Trump roasts, because there's going to be value to this. I know there is. So let's keep going.
Much to the few of you who are applauding. I love being here in the great state of South Carolina, frankly, one of the top two Carolinas. South Carolina, the first state to secede from the Union, and not the last, I think. Going to see a lot of that when I win. 50 states is way too many. I think we could get it back down to 12 or 13 again.
What the hell are you talking about, man? That is the dumbest thing I've heard, and I work with Shaq.
Our first question tonight comes from an auto worker at the assembly plant for Volvo.
Volvo, which is also the medical term for hoo-ha.
Okay, that was pretty funny. I'll give him
Trump,
that.
I voted for you in 2016 and 2020.
Wow, you fell for it twice.
What makes you think you can defeat Joe Biden this time?
Well, I think I'm doing even better this time in terms of Hispanic. I like to say I put the panic in Hispanic. And people are sick of having an alleged criminal like Joe Biden in the White House. They want a convicted criminal, someone they can trust to get the crimes done right.
Somehow that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Hey, you keep doing you, homie.
Yeah. Next, we have a single mom who.
So that just shows you, that one right there just shows you how jaded SNL is, because that, in case you didn't see it, that was supposed to be an attempted roast on Trump supporters. That's what it was supposed to be. That's why at the end he said, and somehow that's what I wanted to hear. Because for some reason, the left seems to think that everybody knows Trump's a criminal. Like they believe that Trump is like an ardent criminal and he's a terrible person and he staged an insurrection, all that kind of stuff. They believe all that. And they believe that conservatives also see that. And if they don't, they're whack jobs. But they also think that when he talks about these phony criminal allegations that are for the purpose of political persecution, that somehow we like that he's being persecuted. No, we don't. No one who supports Trump likes that he's being persecuted, because what we know is what they'd really like to do is do that kind of stuff to us. They'd love nothing more than to throw me in a gulag. And I say every time, one, I would never kill myself. Never in a million years. And so if that were to ever happen, you know that some big names, maybe people that get blowjobs in the Oval Office, maybe they're behind it. The second thing is they don't like free speech. Well, they do. They like free speech as long as it's speech they agree with, which isn't free speech. We know all this. And so that was an attempt. That just shows you how jaded SNL is because they'll try to come after Trump supporters, but they don't even understand why anybody supports Trump. This is the problem with the leftists in the media. This is what Joy Reid just did. I did a video on this. Joy Reid will have you believe that the only reason somebody would vote for Trump is because they're a white Christian and believe Trump is the second coming. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. The reason people like Trump is because he says things the way they think. And he says the things that the left tells you can't say, but everybody is thinking. And I've gone through plenty of them on this show before, but let's keep going with the SNL stuff. That's just a sidebar about how they're shitty at comedy. But now we can see what happens with Nikki Haley. Surprise, Nikki Haley's here. I think there's value to it. We're going to find it.
Unemployed.
Wow, guys are going to be lining up after that description. President Trump, if elected, what would you do to stop Taylor Swift from infiltrating the Super Bowl and stealing the election?
You know, thank you. That's actually one
kind
of
of
the
funny.
smartest and most research questions I think possibly ever. You know, we all know that Biden has brainwashed Tay-Tay, okay? They're using her in something called PSYOPs, which started, of course, with the great Korean rapper Ray, Psy, right? That's his name, Psy. He's a dear friend. Gangnam. He told me he needed a new style.
Hey, that's kind of
I said,
funny.
what about Gangnam? We love Gangnam so much. And now they've got Tay-Tay pretending to date Trey K, that's what I call Travis Kelce. And he's such a terrible boyfriend, okay? He can't even get Taylor tickets near the field. Have you seen that? He's got her way up in a little box. So sad.
I'm sorry. How exactly will Taylor Swift being at the Super Bowl make Biden win the election?
Excuse me, let me finish. The clues are all there if you look at the Midnight's track list, okay? The Ravens' colors were lavender, but they were caught in a haze by the maroon team, the Chiefs. Anti-hero is Ant-Hero, a.k.a. Paul Rudd, who's from where? Kansas City. The next four songs contain exactly 49 letters plus ER and S, 49ers. The vigilante is Biden, Bejeweled, Labyrinth. I don't really have anything for those, but it will be.
Okay, here's one thing I do want to point out is so like it's not a great Trump impression. It's not the best. It's not really funny as if he's making fun of Trump, but I do have to admit all the stuff that he just went through there is pretty good acting. Like, cause you know that he's just got like handwritten cue cards in front of him. I'm just going to give credit where credit's due. I think that was pretty good acting, or at least a pretty good delivery of those lines. Just saying.
Karma for Sweet Nothing, a.k.a. Biden's brain, that the mastermind behind it all will, of course, be Barack Hussein Obama. And that all adds up to bing, 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 bong, bing, bong, bing, 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 bing. Another stolen election, Taylor's version.
My God.
That was
I
kind
was
of funny.
skeptical at first, but now it all makes sense.
Our next question comes from someone who says he really, really likes President Trump times a million. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott.
Hey, Donald, it's me, your best friend, Tim Scott. I flew all the way to New Hampshire to endorse you, remember?
Vaguely.
I don't have a question, I have a statement. I'd like to say you are the bestest, most handsomest presidential candidate that I've ever seen. I look at you and I think, is that hot Lincoln?
All right, Timmy.
See, here's the thing. And so with all of this, I'm going to point out to a comment. Poor writing, not funny, bad acting. So there is some some decent actor moments and some decent moments of writing and where some things can be a little funny. But here's where, Kurt, you're right. And here's where a lot of people don't get why SNL has gone downhill. The reason why it's gone downhill is because they write jokes not for everyone to laugh at. Because here's the thing, a lot of people can laugh at themselves. I think there's a lot of jokes about conservatives, about Trump supporters, about MAGA, about all that are kind of deprecating to the movement, to Trump, to myself, that I think are funny. There are ways to make fun of yourself that are funny and to make fun of others that is funny. But the way they do it, the way they write is for the purpose of catering to an only leftist audience, to only liberals. They write jokes for liberals to laugh at. They do not write jokes for everybody to laugh at, but there are ways to make fun of every side for everyone to laugh at. I'm a firm believer in that, and SNL doesn't do that. But let's keep going with more. Nikki Haley still hasn't shown up. Where is she? Where are you, Nikki? I thought you made a surprise appearance. This is posted on her YouTube, by the way, too.
All right, that's a little much even for me. Hey, Tim Scott, everybody, you know, he's a lot like Scott toilet paper. There's not much there. You can see right through it, but it's better than nothing.
Okay, our next question comes from someone who describes herself as a concerned South Carolina voter.
Yes, hello.
Oh, there she is. She's there. Warmongering liberal Nikki Haley.
My question is, why won't you debate Nikki Haley?
Oh, my God, it's her, the woman who was in charge of security on January 6th. It's Nancy Pelosi.
For the 100th time, that is not Nancy Pelosi. It is Nikki Haley.
Are you doing okay, Donald? You might need a mental competency test.
You know what I did? I took the test and I aced it, okay? Perfect score. They said I'm 100% mental. And, you know, I'm confident because I'm a man. That's why a woman should never run our economy. Women are terrible with money. In fact, a woman I know recently asked me for $83.3 million.
That's
and you've spent $50 million in your own legal fees. Do you need to borrow some money?
Oh, Nikki, don't do this, Nikki. Nikki Tiki Tavi. Nikki, don't lose that number. Nikki Haley, Joel Osment. Nikki Haley, Joel Osment, we call her. 6 cents. Remember that one? I see dead people.
Yeah, that's what voters will say if they see you and Joe on the ballot.
Oh, that's not very nice, Nikki. It's not nice. And I'm always very nice to you, except when I'm implying you weren't born in this country. Even though you're from South Carolina, and now I'm going to beat you in your state.
He is.
And did you win your home state in the last election?
I won Staten Island. And the parts of Long Island where the fistfights happen, where they get out of the cars if you honk at them. I love my World Star Whites.
All right, well, that is a new one on me. Okay, we have time for one more question, and it's actually for Ambassador Haley.
I was just curious, what would you say was the main cause of the Civil War? And do you think it starts with an S and ends with a lavery?
Yep, I probably should have said that the first time. And live from New York, it's Saturday night.
That was so funny. I'm laughing so hard. No, there was, like I said, there were some funny parts, but overall, that was cringeworthy. That was more than cringeworthy. It was not funny. And okay, sure, she can laugh at herself with the slavery thing. That was a big story. Is at one point she walked around the idea that the Civil War was started by, or was basically started because of slavery. All of that, though, the only purpose of that was to make fun of Donald Trump. That's all of it. That Trump and his supporters. They wouldn't have invited Nikki Haley on to do anything that actually promoted her. And so that's why I think this is really funny, is Nikki Haley sees this as a win for her, as if somehow this is going to boost her public image and her campaign. And no, in reality, Nikki, I hope that you in some way checked off your bucket list of being on SNL, because that was the only way it was ever going to happen. You're never going to be president. No chance. Or at least you're not going to be the Republican nominee this time around. Maybe you'll be the Democrat nominee the next time around. But even then, probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. I do also want to point out, because last night, Saturday night's a big time for television. And interestingly enough, there was a liberal on TV last night that honestly destroyed Nikki Haley. And that's Bill Maher. And I've talked about Bill Maher on this show before, and he actually does, in my opinion, a pretty good job of being a traditional liberal, unlike pretty much anybody else. So let's take a look and a listen at this clip of Bill Maher's show, and where he basically just destroys Chris Sununu, who's trying to defend Nikki Haley. Take a look and a listen.
No, we did not. We're Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley, 24.
Okay.
And I mean it.
Let's deal in reality here.
Yeah.
Reality. Okay, first of all, Nikki Haley's not going to be the nominee. It is Trump. Let's not argue about stupid things. Secondly,
you're buying that, though. You're buying into the fact that the voters don't matter.
Wait a second.
I don't buy that. Yeah.
The voters do matter, and they're voting for Trump overwhelmingly.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Oh my God. And by the way, I'm thinking right now YouTube is trying to take me down for copyright. I'm seeing this. I think YouTube's trying to take me down for copyright. Everybody, this is kind of a big deal. So who is watching currently on YouTube? If you're on YouTube right now and you can see me, comment in the comment section. I'm getting some texts from people too. My stream was interrupted. Oh my gosh. Due to a copyright infringement. I just got the email too. Who is watching on YouTube right now? If you're you see me right now on YouTube, David. Okay. That is insane. I did probably briefly get taken down for copyright infringement. That full video, if you guys missed any of my commentary when it comes to Nikki Haley, that will be up later on my YouTube, and I will fight against that policy violation. That's insane, because that's currently up on Nikki Haley's YouTube channel. So there's no way where I shouldn't be allowed to have that up there. But to finish out that kind of segment is Nikki Haley will never be president of the United States. Nikki Haley will never be president of the United States. I'm pretty solid on that. However, I did say that there was going to be value to her being on SNL. And here's the value I saw. The way I got brought onto that story and to make it the headline story of today is on Twitter. Nikki Haley was trending and Lorne Michaels was trending. Nikki Haley was trending because conservatives were up in arms that she was on SNL in general, and they were rightfully calling her appearance cringeworthy. It was. Leftists, however, were also very mad at Lorne Michaels because he let Nikki Haley on. And she's just a neocon. She is a neocon, but they were trying to frame her as if she's any level of a conservative, which she's not. She's not. And so what's the value to Nikki Haley being on SNL, as we just saw? The value is that we've learned. No one likes Nikki Haley. We already kind of knew that. But no one really likes Nikki Haley. The people that do are the deep pocket, quiet, silent influencers that want to enrich themselves more, that want an establishment elite that they can basically have bought and paid for in the White House to do their bidding. And that's what Nikki Haley would be.